Today, we are looking at a vision for the future called Claudebot, or more recently, Moltbot. And it is basically Claude with hands. If you ever wanted a personal assistant that actually does things instead of talking about them, you need to hear how this local AI orchestration is set to change everything. Claudebot, since it was sued by Anthropic, is now called Moltbot. Is a hypothetical concept for a local AI assistant that lives on your own hardware, like a Mac Mini, instead of just in the cloud. It connects your favorite AI models to your actual apps like WhatsApp, Slack, and your smart home to perform autonomous tasks while keeping your data private. It's the bridge between a chatbot that gives you advice and an agent that actually runs your life for you. What do you think about this, John?
I think this is cool, but scary at the same time. So let's just talk real quick about this. So yes, it lives locally on your computer, but no, you're not safe from malicious actors, from being hacked. You're actually way more susceptible to hacking, to your data being available on the dark web, to passwords being available, being leaked, everything, your personal data, absolutely everything. So this is great. First off, I absolutely love that there is an open source AI agent that can live on your computer. And it's cool because you can message it from WhatsApp, from Slack, and get it to do things on your computer from anywhere. So I think this is really cool. This is like, I'm excited to install something like this. I don't know if I'm going to install Moltbot yet, but be careful if you do, because if you give it unfettered access to your banking accounts, to your email, to all your apps, and you go to a website that has malicious code that tells the bot to give it all your passwords, be careful, okay? But on the flip side, this is awesome. You now have an AI assistant that can do pretty much anything you need, right? What do you think about this, Craig? Are you excited to use this, or are you scared?
I am excited to use it. I was installing it on the weekend, but I ran into, as I was mentioning before, a bunch of it doesn't like the Node.js version I'm using, and there's conflicts between Conda and NPN, NPX versions, and so things aren't 100%. But if you're using Claude Code, it's a great tool, but you don't all have to use Claude Code. You can use ChatGPT's Codex along with it, and it looks very interesting. But you're right around it, like these things do stuff. They just do things. For example, I'm running anti-gravity, and we had a antivirus malware Sophos alert at midnight last night saying anti-gravity kicked off and it's got a vulnerability weakness or something. So I'll go check it out, but odds are it's just detecting that something's running as an agent in the background doing stuff. So the problem with these things is you never know 100% what they're doing.
Yeah.
But they can be very helpful. And like I continue to build new agents almost every day. Client work gets in the way, but I build new agents every day in a combination of tools, Agent Zero, Anti-Gravity, N8N, depending on what I'm doing and what I'm building. And something like this looks amazing. I mean, it looks like a combination of a bunch of things I'm trying to build, but somebody's done it already. So I'd really like to give it a go. And if you're using Claude Code, the install is supposed to be pretty easy.
Yeah. Are you trying to install it in a Docker container, or what are you trying to do with it?
Well, let's not get into that right now. I'm not trying to install it in a Docker container. So that's that aside. There's just different environments. I don't want to troubleshoot.
The only reason is, what they're saying is that just to be safe, you'd want to do that in a Docker container. But yeah, let's continue on with this.
But you don't want to do a Docker container because that brings a whole lot of headaches. Like where you're saying, okay, Docker container only has access to certain files that you give access to. If you want Claudebot to do other things, then you're really going to have to go in that container, give access to all the things it needs access to. It's probably okay for control, but it's probably a much bigger pain in the butt than you think. Now, I use that in Docker all the time, where I have files below a certain directory that it can access, which I use to do a bunch of stuff with. So if your files exist below a certain directory, it's great. But otherwise, you want to give it access to your machine so it can spin up and do the things. Otherwise, you're going to run into, oh, that command doesn't exist in the structure that you gave it to me. I can't run those things. So you have some issues around that. So you're going to keep those in mind. But the idea of, action over talk, I think what's really cool about ClaudeBot Moltbot is the stuff that people like myself and a bunch of other people way better than me have been doing for a long time now becomes more accessible. So instead of building these AI agents and taking the troubleshooting them and taking a bunch of time to build them, say, all right, now I've got this new AI agent that I'm going to tweak over the next few weeks. Somebody can now use this tool to do those things quicker and potentially better. So it just makes everything more accessible. So you don't need to be a super expert in code for months to do the stuff that you can do with ClaudeBot within hours of install.
Yeah, and for those of you that are like, well, why can't I just use Claude desktop, right? Well, so it is Moltbot. You can use any LLM, but the thing is, it's not just a chatbot. It's an autonomous agent. So it integrates persistent memory, local execution, and workflow automation. So unlike typical chatbots that kind of reset context each session, Moltbot stores the history as local files. And so the more you use it, the more it understands you over time and can act on your behalf across different applications. So it is like a real person kind of thing, as far as someone who can learn and anticipate your actions, can execute on things that you tell it to do. Like, for example, you can tell it to schedule events based on different contextual signals. You can automatically scan emails and update your CRM. You can trigger jobs. You can interact with apps. You can do a whole bunch of things that someone who is using a computer can do, right? So it's really cool. I think so apparently this guy has released 43 other different projects, and this is the one that kind of took off. So hopefully he'll release something, or there'll be others. There'll be other choices that come out. So just be on the watch out for sure. But this is exciting. This is where I like AI going.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple of benefits, like Inbox Zero. Your AI could filter, prioritize, and draft replies 90% of your emails before you wake up. Your house can automatically adjust lights, temperature based on upcoming calendar events and the weather. Autonomous planning. You could say, like, plan a birthday party for John, and AI would message your friends on Telegram or what have you, find a venue via Google and put it on your calendar. So it can do a bunch of those things, so that, when people talk about an AI assistant, we're really going, 2026 will be the year of AI agents, even though people think 2025 was. It wasn't. We're now really starting to see agents start to take off and appearing everywhere. Like I said, I build them all the time for different things. I've got a couple running in the background right now. And with products like Claude Cowork coming out, which is going to do a lot of what you're suggesting here, but it's not as easy as it is with Moltbot. So as these products come out, Moltbot may end up being, backbench as a result of people building these kind of tools into their products. But Sam Altman and many others say, you've got to bet on us that we are going to continually improve. And if you are trying to fill a minor gap where we have a deficiency, the next revision, you're likely put out of business because we're going to fill that gap. So you have to figure out complementary access. And I think this is one of those things. All the high-end coding tools, they're competing, the companies want this money themselves. They're burning so much cash. There was some articles recently about OpenAI, will they go bankrupt? Like, we've been talking about this for how long, that they're billions of dollars spend every month. They're farther and farther in the hole. This happens. And that's why they have to keep going for fundraising, because otherwise they'll run out of money. And so they want those $100 subscriptions. They want those $200 subscriptions. They need that money to go. So they will start to take that business away from everyone else. That's why we're going to start to see more advertising in these things. And I start to wonder, Is advertising going to change the world from a AI perspective? Will it be embraced or not? I think it'll be embraced because we accept it, and that might actually start to make them profitable. So that'll be a different discussion. Back to this thing. It's not a releasable product. You got to do some installs. You got to muck around. So it's not quite ready to prime time. It does lower the barrier, but it's still not. I can't just tell somebody to go install it. They're going to have problems unless they got a clean Mac, and that might work. It isn't cheap. You need a dedicated computer generally running it, and potentially $50 to $150 a month in API fees for the AI to do its work and thinking time and whatnot, unless you're powerful enough to run local AI. Like you said, if someone hacks your local AI box, they have the keys to the kingdom, your email, your messages, your home security. AI still make mistakes and hallucinate, and AI accidentally canceling your flight because it misread an email is a real risk. So, you have to give it guardrails. The system needs at least 16 gig, 32 is better. The system doesn't do everything locally. Use local orchestration with a cloud intelligence to balance privacy and power. Centralizing your entire digital life into one local bot creates massive security vulnerability if not configured correctly, and it's a single point of failure. So the concept aligns with computer trends in agentic workflows, self-hosted, and privacy-focused design, making it plausible evolution of a personal AI technology. I think this is an alpha or beta version of what we're going to see as personal assistants. Seen the rumors of OpenAI is going to launch headphones that talk to a local AI and do stuff for you. Like, they're all trying to be this local AI model and do what Rabbit promised like last year or the year before, this action model. Everybody's trying to make that leap, and we're seeing 1,000 different apps doing different things. So I'm really hyped to see general agents coming that can do all these things, because we're going to see very much a more powerful bunch of agents that can do many more things. And now you're starting to realize why Microsoft and Apple are really worried about it. We're putting all these extra processors in for AI because you're going to need them, because you're going to have all these agents running all the time. So you still want to be able to use the computer when you want to use the computer. You don't want them like, hey, sorry, man, we're busy right now. So I love this. Again, I had some issues with compatibility with some other stuff I'm running with N8N and anti-gravity and other things. So I have to take a step back and fix that this weekend. But it looks really cool, and I love what it looks like you can automate with it. Are you going to be installing this soon, John?
I don't know yet. I've got 32 gigs of RAM. I've got the M1 Max chip. I could probably run it easily, but I'm going to do some more research on it and follow sort of the news. Like, there was just an article that just came out this morning that they discovered malicious Microsoft VS Code extension that was designed for Moltbot, and it was hosted on the official extension marketplace. So there's a lot of things that scare me about it, but I don't know if we touched on this, but Claude Cowork is now available on the Pro subscription model. So that's something I might look into as well. But yeah, short story long, I am going to at some point, but just not right away.
And what you mentioned about that VS Code extension, it's probably what's happening with anti-gravity, because all those codes are shared by all the VS Code type IDE interfaces, which anti-gravity is one of them. And you can just go into the marketplace and grab them. So I'll mention that to my security person who is on the case right now about what the Sophos error is. But if that's the case, it's so easy to get viruses or stuff running on your system, because I probably have it running, didn't even know, because it's a part of the official Microsoft repository. Let's go. You wouldn't think anything twice about it. And that's just an example of, would you trust an AI to have the keys to your house and your inbox if it meant never having to schedule a meeting again? Let us know in the comments if this sounds like a dream or a privacy nightmare, and we'll keep being a close eye on these local agents as they move from concept to reality. What do you got going on, John? This is the stuff that's going out in the next week or so?
Yeah, so we've got some events at the Toronto Business Development Center. I'm doing some lunch and learns in person there. It's a great organization, great incubator. And then February, what date is the Startup Drinks, Craig?
I closed that, so I'm not sure. February 19th, I believe.
February 19th. But have a look at startupdrinks.com, startupdrinksto.com for that event and other events. Yeah, if you need some help with government funding, Shred, or any other grants, reach out to me on LinkedIn. But if you're interested in AI automation workflows or you need help with your business, what can they do, Craig?
Well, we've got lots of stuff going on over at flowgrammar.ca where we help businesses implement AI and business automation so they can scale faster and more reliable, get more leads, grow faster. We also have a growing community over at flowgrammars.ca where we do Flow Grammar Cafe, we do live build events, we do demo events, we get the community together online and in person several times a month to show and demo and support anybody who's trying to do this, learn automation, end-to-end AI agent building. So check all that out. We have a series of events called Flow Grammar Cafe. The next one's February 6th, March 6th, and April 2nd. We do those right now in partnership with Workhouse, and those are full day drop-in headphones, laptop, and work. And we'll have some experts on site that can help you troubleshoot. And we all kind of do a little walkthrough in the afternoon about what you're working on and, show us what you're working on and stuff. And it's really cool. So check all that out over at flowgrammar.ca and flowgrammars.ca. And coming soon, and you can sign up for this now, flowgramming.space. An AI agent and workflow marketplace where people can buy and sell agents or workflows. So if you're building agents and don't know what to do with them, where to sell them, go over there and check that out. Again, flowgramming.space. Or if you're building workflows, or if you want agents or workflows built, you can go over there and buy them. We have some interesting guarantees, and it's coming soon, so you can get your name on the waiting list right now. That's all we got going on, John. For everything else, go to torontostarts.com. I don't even think I mentioned it that whole time. Thanks everyone for watching. All the information about CES, and these interesting things. Any last words, John?
No. Check out our next episode. We're going to be talking about the weird stuff at CES. So,
all right, everyone. Thanks for watching.